Your hand trembles as you dust the marble mantle, trying to keep the bandage hidden beneath your sleeve. It's not working. Stop. The single word cuts through the silence of the penthouse like a blade. You freeze, feather duster suspended midair, your heart suddenly hammering against your ribs. Choi Taehyun sits at his desk across the room, barely glancing up from the papers he's reviewing. He looks like he always does, devastatingly handsome in a charcoal suit, dark hair swept back, jaw sharp enough to cut glass. Chicago's Korean Mafia king, reviewing his empire from a fortress of concrete and bulletproof glass. Your employer for the past 6 months. A man you've learned to read through silence, when he's dangerous, when he's merely calculating, when he's both. Right now, his stillness feels predatory. Come here, he says quietly. Your stomach drops. You've been so careful. So careful to hide it, to make sure the long sleeves covered everything, to move without wincing even though your ribs scream with every breath. But somehow, he knows. You cross the room on legs that feel disconnected from your body. Each step takes you closer to the massive desk where he conducts business you're not supposed to understand. The kind of business that involves men in dark suits speaking rapid Korean, leaving with briefcases full of cash or fury. He doesn't look up until you're standing directly in front of him. Then those dark eyes, the ones that have watched you work for months without really seeing you, finally focus on your face. Show me your arm, he says. Sir, I don't. Your arm, Miss Thompson. Now. The command in his voice allows no argument. With shaking fingers, you roll up your sleeve. The bandage is crude gauze and medical tape you bought at the corner store, already yellowing with seepage. Beneath it, you know what he'll find, the burn mark shaped like the bottom of an iron. The one Marcus gave you 3 nights ago when dinner wasn't ready on time. Taehyun stands abruptly, his chair scraping against marble. He moves around the desk with the fluid grace of a predator, stopping inches from you. The other arm, he says, voice dangerously soft. You hesitate. He reaches out in gently, so gently it makes your throat tight, pushes up your other sleeve. More bruises. Fingerprint-shaped marks from when Marcus grabbed you too hard. Again. Your ribs, Taehyun says. It's not a question. You don't answer. Don't need to. He can probably see it in the way you're breathing, shallow, careful, trying not to aggravate the places where Marcus kicked you when you were on the floor. Who did this? Each word comes out measured, controlled. But you hear what's underneath, fury, cold and absolute. No one. I fell. Don't insult my intelligence. His fingers hover near your bandage but don't touch. I've seen enough violence to know the difference between an accident and assault. Who did this? Your throat closes. You should lie. Should protect Marcus like you always have, making excuses, hiding evidence, pretending everything is fine. That's what you've done for 2 years, since he moved in, since the charm wore off and the fists started flying. But standing here in front of a man who kills people for a living, a man who's never once raised his voice to you in 6 months of employment, something breaks. My boyfriend, you whisper. Marcus. The temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. How long? Taehyun asks. 2 years. But it's not, it's complicated. Nothing about this is complicated. His eyes hold yours, and what you see there steals your breath. Not pity. Not disgust. Pure, lethal rage barely contained. You're going to tell me everything. And then I'm going to make sure he never touches you again. Welcome back to the channel, loves. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because what happens next will leave you shook. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I love seeing our community grow. Now let's dive back into this story. You tell him everything. Not because you want to, but because once you start, you can't stop. The words pour out like blood from a wound you've been pressing closed for too long. You tell him about meeting Marcus 3 years ago. How charming he was at first. How he moved in 6 months later. How the first time he hit you, he cried and swore it would never happen again. How it happened again. And again. And again. You tell him about the ER visits you claimed were accidents. The time you missed work because your face was too swollen to show in public. The way Marcus controls every dollar you earn, checks your phone, isolates you from friends until there's no one left who might help. You tell him why you can't leave, you have nowhere to go, no savings of your own, a younger sister depending on you for college tuition you're barely managing to scrape together. You tell him everything, and Taehyun listens without interrupting, his expression growing colder with each revelation. When you finally run out of words, silence fills the penthouse. Heavy, weighted with implications you don't understand. Pack your things, Taehyun says finally. You're moving into the guest suite. Today. What? No, I can't. You can. He pulls out his phone, types something quickly. I'm sending my men to your apartment right now. They'll collect your belongings and escort your sister somewhere safe. Mr. Choi, I appreciate the concern, but this isn't concern, Miss Thompson. This is me taking responsibility for something I should have noticed months ago. His jaw clenches. You work in my home. Under my protection. And someone has been hurting you. That ends today. You can't just, Marcus will come looking for me. He'll be angry. Good. That dangerous smile curves his lips. Let him come. I'd like to meet him. The way he says it makes ice run down your spine. Within 2 hours, your entire life is packed into 3 suitcases sitting in the guest suite of Taehyun's penthouse. Your sister Maya calls, confused and terrified, from a hotel room where Taehyun's men have taken her. It's okay, you tell her, trying to sound calm. Just stay there. Don't tell anyone where you are. Especially not Marcus. What's happening? Who are these people? My employer. He's helping. After you hang up, you sit on the edge of the bed king-sized, with sheets that probably cost more than your monthly rent and try to process what just happened. You've been ripped from your life and placed in a gilded cage. Safe, maybe. But also trapped. A knock at the door. Taehyun enters without waiting for permission, carrying a first aid kit. Let me see the burn, he says. I can do it myself. I'm sure you can. But you won't. He sits beside you, opening the kit with practiced efficiency. You'll leave it too long, let it get infected, because you're used to putting everyone else first. So let me help. His fingers are surprisingly gentle as he removes your crude bandage. The burn underneath is angry red, blistered, the shape of the iron's edge unmistakable. You watch him work, cleaning the wound with antiseptic that stings, applying proper medical ointment, wrapping it with gauze that's actually sterile. His hands are steady, sure. Hands that have killed, now tenderly healing. Why are you doing this, you whisper. He doesn't answer immediately. Just finishes wrapping your arm, his fingers lingering on your wrist. My mother, he says finally. She was in a situation like yours once. Before she met my father. A boyfriend who hurt her, who made her feel worthless, who convinced her she deserved the pain. What happened? My father killed him. He says it matter-of-factly, like discussing the weather. Then he married her, gave her everything she deserved. They had 30 years together before she died. He looks up, his dark eyes meeting yours. I watched her transform from someone who flinched at loud voices to a woman who commanded respect from everyone she met. Because someone gave her the safety and space to become who she was meant to be. Your throat tightens. And you think you can do that for me? I know I can. He stands, moving to the door. Rest. Tomorrow we start. Start what? Making sure you never have to be afraid again. The training begins at dawn. Taehyun leads you to a basement gym you didn't know existed, a full facility with equipment, weapons, everything. Two of his men wait there, Kim and Park, both built like tanks, both treating you with a respect that feels foreign. Self-defense basics, Taehyun says, gesturing to the mats. If Marcus or anyone else tries to hurt you again, you need to know how to fight back. I don't know if I can. You can. He moves behind you, adjusting your stance with hands that are firm but careful of your injuries. Your body already knows how to protect itself. We're just going to teach it how to be more effective. Over the next weeks, you learn how to break a hold, how to use an attacker's weight against them, where to strike to disable without killing or with killing, if necessary. Taehyun trains you personally, his body pressed against yours as he demonstrates techniques, his voice low in your ear as he corrects your form. The proximity should feel threatening. Instead, it feels safe. Electric. You're strong, he says one morning after you successfully flip Kim onto his back. Stronger than you know. Marcus convinced you otherwise, but he was wrong. You're breathing hard, sweating, bruised from practice. But for the first time in years, you feel powerful. Marcus comes looking for you on day 12. You're in the penthouse kitchen making tea when the building's security calls up. Sir, there's a Marcus Davis here demanding to see Ms. Thompson. He's agitated. Taehyun's expression goes cold. Send him up. What? No panic claws at your throat. You can't let him. I can't let him what? Hurt you? Taehyun moves to you, his hands framing your face gently. He will never hurt you again. I promise you this. But you need to see that you're not afraid anymore. The elevator dings. Marcus storms in like he owns the place, tall, handsome in that way that once made you weak, now just makes you sick. He sees you and fury twists his features. There you are, you ungrateful, he starts toward you. Taehyun steps between you so smoothly it's like choreography. That's close enough. Marcus barely glances at him. This is between me and my girlfriend. Stay out of it. She's not your girlfriend anymore. Taehyun's voice is soft, deadly. She's under my protection. Which means you have two choices, leave now and never contact her again. Or don't leave, and learn what happens to men who hurt women in my city. Marcus laughs, that condescending sound you've heard 1,000 times. You think you scare me? I know who you are, Choi. But this is about a domestic situation. Not your business. Everything in this city is my business. Taehyun moves forward, forcing Marcus back. And you made it my business when you put your hands on someone I care about. The admission hangs in the air. Someone he cares about. Marcus's eyes narrow, flicking between you and Taehyun. Oh, I see. You're fucking him now? That was quick. How long have you been spreading your legs for your boss? The words land like slaps. Old shame rises. Marcus has always known exactly how to make you feel worthless. But then Taehyun speaks, and his voice could freeze blood. Choose your next words very carefully. They might be your last. Something in his tone finally penetrates Marcus's bravado. He takes a step back. You can't keep her from me. We've been together 2 years. You've been abusing her for 2 years, Taehyun corrects. There's a difference. And now it's over. If you come near her again, if you contact her sister, if you so much as think her name, I will know. And what happens next won't be a conversation. You're threatening me? I'm making you a promise. Taehyun pulls out his phone, shows Marcus the screen. That's footage from your apartment. Cameras I had installed 2 weeks ago. Every hit, every scream, every moment of terror you put her through, all recorded. All time-stamped. All admissible in court. Marcus goes pale. That's illegal. I don't particularly care about legality. Taehyun's smile is sharp as broken glass. I care about leverage. And now I have enough to destroy you 10 times over. So here's what's going to happen, you're going to leave. You're going to move out of that apartment. And you're going to disappear from her life completely. Or I release the footage to police, to your employer, to everyone who knows you. Your choice. For the first time in 2 years, you see Marcus truly afraid. He looks at you, searching for the submissive woman he controlled. Finds someone different standing there, chin up, eyes clear, standing beside a man who would burn the world to keep her safe. This isn't over, Marcus says, but it sounds hollow. It is, you say. Your voice doesn't shake. Don't contact me again. Don't contact Maya. We're done. He leaves. The elevator doors close behind him like a coffin lid. You don't realize you're shaking until Taehyun's arms come around you, pulling you against his chest. You bury your face in his shirt and let yourself cry, not from fear, but from relief. You're safe, he murmurs against your hair. You're safe, and you're never going back to that life. But Marcus doesn't disappear quietly. 3 days later, he breaks into the penthouse building. Gets past the first security checkpoint with a stolen maintenance uniform. Makes it all the way to the private elevator before cameras catch him. You're in the gym with Taehyun when alarms start screaming. Red light strobe. His phone explodes with calls. Get behind me, he orders, pulling a gun from somewhere. You didn't even see where he'd hidden it. The elevator dings. Marcus stumbles out, wild-eyed, holding something in his hand. Not a gun. A knife. The same knife he'd threatened you with months ago when you talked about leaving. You think you can just take her from me? Marcus's voice is raw, desperate. She's mine. She'll always be mine. I was never yours, you hear yourself say. I was just too scared to leave. Scared? He laughs bitterly. I gave you everything. A place to live, someone to take care of you. You gave me bruises and terror and nightmares. Your voice grows stronger. You made me believe I was worthless. But you were wrong. Marcus moves toward you. Taehyun raises the gun. One more step and you're dead, Taehyun says flatly. You won't shoot me. Too many witnesses. Too much attention. Try me. Something in Taehyun's absolute calm makes Marcus hesitate. In that moment of indecision, you move. All those weeks of training, of learning your body's power, of practicing until muscle memory took over, it all comes together. You close the distance, use the technique Taehyun drilled into you. Grab Marcus's knife hand, twist hard, drive your knee into his solar plexus. He goes down gasping, the knife clattering away. You stand over him, breathing hard. Not from exertion. From exhilaration. Touch me again, you say quietly, and next time I won't be so gentle. Security arrives, hauling Marcus away. He's shouting threats, promises of revenge, but they sound empty now. Pathetic. When they're gone, Taehyun looks at you with something like wonder. You didn't need me. I did, you correct. I needed you to show me I was strong enough to do it myself. He crosses to you, his hand cupping your cheek. You were always strong enough. You just needed someone to believe it first. Marcus is arrested. The security footage Taehyun collected is turned over to police. More evidence surfaces, other women Marcus hurt over the years, all too scared to come forward until now. He's charged with assault, battery, harassment, stalking. He'll go to prison. For a long time. You testify at the hearing. Tell your story without shame. And when the judge sentences him to 12 years, you feel something lift from your chest that's been pressing there so long you forgot what it felt like to breathe freely. Maya moves into the penthouse too. Taehyun sets her up in another guest suite, pays her tuition outright, treats her like family. She thrives, her grades improve, she makes friends, she laughs again. And you transform. The maid position becomes something else. Taehyun promotes you to personal assistant, teaching you the legitimate side of his business. You learn quickly how to manage accounts, handle meetings, negotiate contracts. Your sharp mind, dulled by years of abuse, sharpens into something formidable. You're brilliant, Taehyun says one evening, reviewing a contract you'd analyzed. Why were you working as a maid? Because Marcus convinced me I couldn't do anything else, you reply simply. Because I believed him. And now I know better. The relationship between you shifts gradually. Somewhere between training sessions and business meetings, between moments of fear and moments of triumph, something deeper grows. You catch him watching you with eyes that hold more than professional respect. You find yourself gravitating toward him, seeking his presence, craving his touch. One night, 3 months after Marcus's arrest, you find him on the penthouse terrace. He's staring at the city lights, looking uncharacteristically vulnerable. Can't sleep, you ask, joining him. Thinking, he says. About how close I came to never noticing that bandage. About how many times you must have hidden injuries before I finally saw one. His voice roughens. About how you could have died before I woke up and paid attention. But you did notice. You did help. Not soon enough. He turns to face you. I should have seen it earlier. Should have. You kiss him. Cut off his self-recrimination with your mouth on his, your hands in his hair, your body pressed against his in a way that says everything words can't. He responds instantly, hands on your waist, pulling you closer, deepening the kiss until you're both breathless. I don't want gratitude, he says when you finally break apart. If this is just because I helped you. It's not. You press your hand against his chest, feeling his heartbeat hammer beneath your palm. I'm not that broken girl anymore. I know my own mind. And I know I want you. Dangerous thing to want, he murmurs. A man like me. I'm not afraid of danger anymore. You taught me how to face it. His kiss this time is claiming, deep and possessive and full of promise. When he carries you inside to his bedroom, it's not rescue or obligation. It's choice. Yours and his. 6 months after the bandage, you stand in Taehyun's office, your office now too, your desk positioned beside his reviewing security reports. Maya is thriving at university. Marcus is in prison. Your savings account has actual money in it. You're wearing a sleeveless blouse. The burn scar on your arm is visible, faded now, but still there. You don't hide it anymore. It's part of your story, but it doesn't define you. Miss Thompson, Taehyun says formally, though his eyes are warm. Do you have the contracts for? You kiss him, cutting off the business talk. When you pull back, you're both smiling. You know, you say, you can call me by my first name now. We are sleeping together. Nia, he says, testing it. I prefer Ms. Thompson. It sounds professional. There's nothing professional about what we did last night. His laugh is genuine, unguarded, a sound you've worked months to coax from him. Fair point. Your phone buzzes. Maya's name flashes on the screen, got an A on my midterm. Professor said it was brilliant. Love you. You show Taehyun, your chest warm with pride. He smiles, squeezes your hand. She's thriving, he says. Because of you. Because you gave us both a chance. No. He turns your hand over, traces the scar on your wrist where the bandage once was. Because you were brave enough to accept help. Brave enough to choose yourself. I just provided the resources. You did the work. He's right. The transformation isn't his gift to you, it's your own achievement. He just gave you the safe space to become who you always could have been. That night, wrapped in expensive sheets in the bedroom you now share, Taehyun asks the question that's been building for weeks. Move in with me. Officially. Not as an employee or a guest. As my partner. I'm already living here, you point out. You know what I mean. Choose this. Choose us. Not because you're scared or trapped or grateful, but because you want it. You think about the woman you were 6 months ago. Hiding bruises, hiding herself, believing she deserved the pain. You think about the woman you are now, strong, capable, unafraid. Yes, you say. I choose this. I choose you. Marcus tries to appeal his sentence. The appeal is denied. He sends letters from prison alternating between apologies and threats. You burn them without reading. He's a ghost now. A shadow from a past you've outgrown. 1 year after the bandage, Taehyun throws a dinner party. Business associates, friends, family. You're introduced not as the maid or the assistant, but as his partner. His equal. Maya brings her new boyfriend, a gentle computer science major who looks at her like she hung the moon. You approve. Late in the evening, you find yourself on the terrace again. The same spot where Taehyun first kissed you. He joins you, wrapping his arms around you from behind. Happy, he murmurs against your neck. Deliriously. Even though my world is dangerous? Even though there will always be threats? I'm not afraid of threats anymore. You turn in his arms, looking up at the man who saved you by teaching you to save yourself. You taught me how to fight. How to be strong. How to choose power over fear. You taught me something too, he says softly. What? That sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is notice. Pay attention. Care when the world says not to. His thumb brushes your cheek. That night I saw your bandage, something in me knew I couldn't look away. That if I ignored it, I'd lose something precious before I even knew I'd found it. You kiss him, this man who saw past your disguise, who refused to let you suffer in silence, who gave you the tools to rebuild yourself into something stronger. The scar on your arm catches moonlight. A reminder not of weakness, but of survival. Of the moment everything changed because someone finally noticed. Finally cared. Finally refused to let you disappear. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. This story proves that sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected places. That being seen, truly seen, can be the first step to becoming who you were always meant to be. Subscribe for more stories of dark romance and powerful transformations. Comment below, have you ever had someone notice something you were hiding? How did it change your life? Until next time, remember, you are stronger than your scars. You are worthy of protection and love. And sometimes the person who helps you find your power is the one you least expect. See you in the next story.